Veemala on Love and Life is the name of this show, and I'm your host, Veemala Persaud. Welcome back to another interesting segment. Although my struggles required courage and determination to survive the cruelty and intolerance of others, most who go through the vicious cycles of abuse and neglect do not speak out, but I encourage them to speak out. Don't hide your stories. Remember, fear breeds more fear. Speaking out breeds courage, which leads to strength and more success. My interviews with people have inspired me to speak my story out aloud. I now have the courage to push forward, protecting and saving the vulnerable, the innocent children in situations similar to mine are now my source of inspiration. I advocate zero tolerance for child abuse or neglect. This means that this message should be publicized, should be broadcast around the world. Anything less is neglect or abuse. Abuse is ignored or not reported at least 75% of the time. There are many types of abuse, some worse than others, though all cause serious, lasting change to a life. Abuse can be physical or emotional or both. Eventually the scars and the darkness will show. Children are not only victims of abuse. Adults and innocent animals suffer unimaginable abuses as well. Many criminal cases involve abuse go unheard, and in fact, many continue to suffer as a result. The lasting trauma from abuse has led to many suicides and suicidal attempts. No one should have to deal with someone else's rage. No one should have to suffer from its impact. Abuse in this country is on the rise. Oh, not just in America, but worldwide. All people have a right to live free of exploitation and abuse. Everyone in this world is precious, especially you. My trials have not been easy, but I faced them with strength, courage, and faith. Today, I am an entrepreneur, and guess what? Life is a good life today. And life, a good life, does not always end with a green card or money or fame. Life is how you make it. For me, life is about one thing: inner peace. Only then can one live and lead a sane and productive and creative life. Education is also extremely important. Education is a major source of inspiration and motivation. First thing each morning, I ask myself, what kind of day do I wish to have? Visualize what you really want. Because growing up with abuse is toxic, and hiding pain does nothing but make the scarring worse. If you are a victim of abuse, I urge you to find a way to get your voice heard. Speak out. That's right, let your voice be heard. Someone other than you needs to know before things get worse. Reaching out sooner rather than later is the key. Abuse is defined as anything that is harmful, injurious, or offensive to a person, animal, and for that matter, the entire environment. You may be a victim of physical or mental abuse, or both. but traumatizing moments will stick like glue. I was subjected to all kinds of abuse only because I loved differently. Don't let fear stop you from speaking out. I encourage you to share what you are facing with someone. Many people ask, does men get abuse? Yes, they do. The woman be abused? Yes, they do. The worst is child abuse or sexual abuse or all. It's okay for men to cry, and it's okay for women to speak out. I was abused because of who I am, and being transgender is not an easy life. In fact, the entire LGBT community is not easy living today because it's not a life most of us choose. It's a life that we were forced to live. Abuse in this world is on the rise. Men fear women leave them, and women fear that men kill them. And the child are the one who grows up with that abuse and that experience, and they may or may not know how to love. That's the side effect of abuse. Now you know what I had to face. Know that these moments don't last forever. Reach out for help now. There's lots of help all over the place. Like the saying goes, a 1,000-mile journey starts with the first step. All too often, abuse is a problem that only you can solve. Often, the only way a victim of abuse can get help is by gathering the courage to speak out and tell someone. It is a well-known fact that millions of people in this country alone are subject to abuse by their parents, their children, their partners, and even especially by their government. Anything can and does happen behind closed doors. Child and spouse and elder abuse may go on for years, unrecognized, until a crisis, like a sudden visit to the emergency room, points to a situation of abuse. Remember, abuse can be verbal. Insults, put-downs, humiliation, guilt-provoking, or physical, or all. Numerous cases have been documented of women and men reaching out for help, showing signs of physical abuse, which either been minimized or totally ignored. In the worst case scenarios, many victims of physical abuse end up crippled or dead. If you or someone you know is a victim of abuse, tell someone. The courage to speak in such a situation can mean the difference between life and death. Remember, your voice can be heard. Please let your voice be heard. Your words are the most powerful thing, and you can get help. There is help. Thank you for watching this segment of Veemala on Love and Life. Please remember to subscribe and leave your comments below and reach out as well. Touching the heart of one person can make the entire difference in the world. Until next time.